Hi everyone! Fall has come to the Midwest and we are finishing off the garden, bringing in the produce, and starting to make great things with the produce we've brought in. It's getting chilly, so today we're going to make some chili. This is turkey pumpkin chili. It is a recipe that we have altered. The original recipe I found on allrecipes.com. But my husband, not liking
pumpkin's gross,
wanted to change it up a little bit.
a lot.
So I decided to change it in a way of making a Tex-mex version of this recipe. Adding some things to make it hearty, some more things from the garden, some extra spices. And I think that we've come up with a pretty good recipe that I'd like to share with you. So let's get started.
Give me that sunshine, sunshine. Give me them good times, good times. Nothing but good vibes. Give me that sunshine, sunshine.
I've preheated this cast iron Dutch oven, and we're going to fry up in some oil here some turkey, ground turkey. You can use already cooked turkey if you like, if you have it on hand. So even after Thanksgiving meal, if you have some extra turkey sitting around, you can cube that up and use it in this recipe. Okay, so I am frying up this ground turkey and just getting it to the point where it's browned. That way I know that the inside, the pink inside, is no longer pink. It is cooked through. And I'm going to take this out into a bowl and set it aside. I'm going to add some more oil and we'll fry up the veggies. If you wanted to, you could reverse this order. You could start by frying up the onions and the peppers and then add your meat. Either way works fine. So in here I have onions. I added color by adding a green pepper and a yellow pepper, and then a red jalapeno.
Very fall-like. It looks like the trees in our pot right there.
You're right.
It is fall in the Dutch oven.
Yes. I like this soup with all the colors. It's not a must, but it just, like Dude said, it looks good. Okay, so at this point, all the vegetables have softened. They still have beautiful color. I'm going to add garlic. I did not want to add the garlic before because I didn't want the garlic to burn. I just want this garlic to waken up with its oils, soften a little bit, and be able to taste a sweetness of the garlic instead of a burnt or darkened flavor of the garlic. So I'm just going to warm it up in this pot. Once you start to smell, about a minute into this cooking, once you start to smell that garlic, it should be good to go. That's looking good. I'm going to put the turkey back in. Mix it up real well. There we go. And then the next step, I'm going to start adding the flavors of the seasonings and the liquids. So first I'm going to start with chicken broth. This is 2 cups chicken broth. And I'm going to add tomatoes from the garden. I'm going to do also 2 cups of tomatoes. If you do not have tomatoes from the garden, you can use a can of crushed tomatoes, diced tomatoes. And then to this, I'm gonna add some spices. I'm gonna do salt and pepper, cumin, dried oregano, and chili powder. This is a little bit where the Tex-Mex starts with that chili powder and the cumin. All right, so now we're gonna add the secret ingredient that dude does not like.
Gross. I actually, if the camera works a little off, it's because I'm looking away. I can't.
Yes.
Look,
The
pumpkin.
look of pumpkin, he just can't stand it.
No, pumpkin's terrible. I mean, truly, I think it's terrible.
Well, I don't.
Yeah.
I love pumpkin and sweet potato and squash. And in this recipe, I guarantee that you will not
Right.
be able to taste it.
Right. I mean,
In its form, in its taste of pumpkin. I'll
Right.
be able to hide it.
yes. One of the reasons why we're even doing this is pumpkin actually is very nutrient dense. It has a lot of positive things for your body, for your health, for your nutrition. I think it's gross. I think the texture's gross, the smell is gross, the taste is gross. Pumpkin pie doesn't count, although I don't like pumpkin pie either.
No, you don't.
But my wife is very good and very determined at making me eat things that are good for me that I think are gross. And so she hides things in recipes and then tells me after I say it's great, she says, "Oh, I put a bunch of pumpkin in there." So this one actually,
And I laugh.
yeah, and this one actually, if you are looking for a way to kind of really amp up the nutrient properties of your diet or even a particular meal, pumpkin's a great way to go. And this, I guarantee you, this recipe masks the pumpkin. I can't believe it. I love this stuff, and I seriously, I hate pumpkin.
You do.
It's gross.
Okay, I think we get the picture.
It's terrible.
Dude does not like pumpkin.
I don't.
So if you caught that, I had my pumpkin in a food saver bag. Like I said, we took this from our garden. So this is one of our pumpkins. And if you would like to know how I did the process, you can comment below and I will explain that to you in more detail. Okay, so that is everything that our soup needs at this point. Now we're going to allow it to cook for about 20 minutes and get those seasonings and the pumpkin and the chicken broth all melding together to make it taste good. So I'm going to bring it to a boil and let it simmer for 20 minutes. Okay, our turkey pumpkin chili is smelling amazing. It's looking great. We just have a few more things to finish this up. To add to that Tex-Mex idea, I've chosen to add black beans and corn. Both of these from a can, about 14.5 ounces again for each of them. I've drained them. The black beans, however, in addition to draining them, I also rinsed them really well. I find that this makes my soup not chalky, and we like that consistency much better. So I'll put those in. Also, I'm gonna add a can of chili beans. I'm gonna leave the sauce of the chili beans in the soup. I like that extra seasoning that it gives. And it doesn't add a chalky taste, so we will leave that in there. So these beans are adding more color, more flavor, but I don't want to cook them too long. I wanted to put them in the end of the soup here, cook them for another 5 minutes, and then it will be done. If I cook them too long, the beans will break down and again cause the soup to be chalky.
I saw her under moonlight, a flower in her hair, and didn't think she'd notice, but I know she caught my stare. And I can't help but wonder.
Okay, the soup is done. If during your boiling point you noticed that your soup got too thick, go ahead and add a little bit more chicken broth to it to make it the consistency that you want. And if you or even if you needed more to add for the number of guests that you have, just add some more chicken broth. But at this point, I think this is a great consistency. I've dished up a couple bowls here for Dude and I, so I'm gonna give him a call. Hey Dude, you ready to try it?
Yeah, I jumped the gun. I'm already ready to try
Yeah,
it.
time for your pumpkin.
Well, I do my favorite
Why don't you come over?
accoutrements first.
Why don't you come over here?
All right, well,
So
let me
our-
get my bowl ready.
So our,
I like to do it picture perfect. We add a little bit of cheese, a little green onion. We call that gilding the lily.
got you some hot sauce here.
Yeah, well, what? Let me see the label on that. 100% pain.
Yeah, you have fun with that.
40,000 Scovilles.
I feel like, I'm gonna let you pour it. I feel like it's hot enough with the jalapeno that I added.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stick with this.
Well, I tasted it. The jalapeno, there's definitely the warmth of a jalapeno there. There's no doubt.
I do want this beautiful green in here of the green onion. Dude has put some cheese and sour cream, and now he's gonna add more heat.
Yeah, a little dab, man, this stuff. But I'm
Yeah,
working
a
up.
little
I'm
dab will
training.
do ya.
I'm training.
All right, ready to give it a try?
I am.
Now be honest.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think of that pumpkin. It's gonna be hot. No, hot.
I take 2 bites before I talk.
What do you think? The corn just pops in your mouth. The
Yeah.
beans are not too mealy, not chalky.
So here's the thing.
Do tell.
It's unbelievable. It is one of
I
my
agree.
favorite chilies to make. Very unexpected. Because if you would tell me, hey, we're having turkey pumpkin chili, I'd say I'll swing through McDonald's on the way home.
Wah,
Gross.
wah.
But she said we're having some chili, some Tex-Mex chili, and I tried it. And then she broke the news that it was pumpkin was all over this thing.
Yep.
I actually thought she was joking, but the corn, you're right. You get the crunch texture of corn, right? The cumin, the chili powder, very, very warm. Very much the Tex-Mex flavor. It's very hearty. I mean,
It
you feel
is.
like you've eaten a meal.
This is a full meal.
Yeah.
And I feel the warmth. And I didn't even add the pain.
So we'll have the babe back at some point because she's over the 27 years now that we've been married. She has kind of mastered the recipes that come in Dutch ovens.
I like to make soup.
Yeah.
And I really like making it with the things from the garden.
And the minestrone that she makes is ridiculous. And after the minestrone, I would say this is my favorite. I could eat this all the time. The flavors are very bold. They really pop. And as you try it, you know, cut out the flavors you don't like, but you'll like them all. This is amazing. Thank you for hanging out. God bless.